If you want to make your videos look better, you're in the right place. This is the complete Adobe After Effects CC course, where you'll learn visual effects and motion graphics to make your videos look like the pros. I'm Phil Ebiner, creator of the best-selling After Effects CS6 course, and I've been using After Effects professionally for the past decade. And I'm so excited to teach you everything you need to know to get started. Whether you're making videos for yourself, creating videos for your own business, or you want a career in the hot video and film industry, After Effects is a great skill to have. I've designed this course so it's project-based, so you can follow along with project files, photos, graphics, and videos. The goal is to have fun while learning and to see real-world applications of what you're learning in each lesson. If you're looking for a complete course that covers all of the major aspects of After Effects, like motion graphics, visual effects, green screen and rotoscoping, character animations, kinetic typography, and much more, this is the perfect course for you. Whether you're brand new to After Effects with zero experience, or you've opened up After Effects a few times but you want to get more comfortable with it, I invite you to join me inside. With our 30-day 100% money-back guarantee, there's no reason to hesitate. Enroll now, try it out, learn some new things, have fun with me, and start making videos better than ever. Hello, thank you so much for enrolling in the After Effects CC course. I'm so excited to have you here. In this really quick video, I just want to welcome you, talk about how this course works, talk about the project files you're going to be working with, and just have a quick important message about how you can help me make this course even better. First, how is this course laid out? Well, it starts as if you are a complete beginner. I assume that you know nothing about After Effects. So in the first sections of the course, we walk through some of the basics, just getting started with the Workspace, using the basic tools, but we do jump pretty quickly into how you start animating. And then each section tackles a different aspect of using After Effects, starting with the more beginner things like motion graphics and kinetic typography, moving to more advanced things like visual effects, rotoscoping, character animations, and expressions. In this first section of the course, you will have access to all of the project files. And so in that lesson, download all of the project files. They'll include videos, photos, graphics, and the After Effects projects themselves. Now I'm using at this time the latest version of After Effects, which is the 2017 version. If you have a previous version, that's totally fine. You can build all of these animations from scratch, but the project files won't work if you are using a previous version, especially if you're using a CS6, CS5 or something from before. Even if you're using a future version of After Effects, it should be completely fine. All of the project files should work, and all of the things we teach in this class are still applicable to you too. If you ever have a problem or a question, feel free to post it to the class. I'm here to help you. You can post it directly to the class page or send me a message. Myself or a TA will get back to you usually within a day or two. The last thing I want to mention in this video is that I know when I launch a course it's not going to be perfect, and I need feedback from students like you to make it even better. So if there's something that I missed, something that I went over too quickly, something that I didn't cover the right way, just let me know. I want to make sure this is the perfect course for you, so send me a message and let me know how I can improve it. Thank you so much for enrolling in this class. I'm so excited to have you here. In the next lessons, you'll download your project files, and then you're going to actually jump right in to doing something really cool with After Effects, animating your name. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome to the first lesson where we're going to dive right into After Effects. What I like to do with my courses is to show you one really cool trick that you can do rather easily to show you the power of the application we're learning. And then in the following lessons, we're going to back up, we're going to learn everything from scratch. But for now, what I want you to do is open up this project file called Write My Name. This would be in the project files folder of the downloads that you just downloaded. So just double click that, and that will open up After Effects and this project that I've set up for you. Now in this lesson, while this opens up, I'm just gonna tell you, don't worry about anything. We're gonna go over all the menus, starting new compositions, everything in future lessons. Right now, I just want you to follow exactly what I'm doing. Just click where I'm clicking, click the buttons I'm pressing, and don't worry too much. When you open up After Effects, this is what it should look like. You'll have what's called the composition in the middle that has my name, Phil. And then you have your timeline down here with Phil's name and then name practice. And these are two different, basically, projects. Again, we're going to cover all of this later, but two different timelines that you can work on. You're going to be working on the practice one, and then here is my one. So if we go in our timeline and we click up here in the timeline, or take this blue bar and move it to the start, and then press the space bar, this is what you should see. Phil being written on the screen. That's what we're going to do with your own name right now. Cool? Okay, so all you have to do is click over to the name practice and then click this icon up here, the pen tool. Everything should be set up. So you should see right here next to Phil, it should have this red slash. Stroke should be this blue, and then it should say 10 pixels, which is the stroke width. The goal with this quick little project is to create something cool that's animated that you can share on social media. That's why we have this square composition, which is 1000 by 1000 pixels. I've already set it up for you. Again, we're going to cover how we do this in a future lesson. To use the pen tool and to write your name, basically what you're going to do is just start clicking within the composition and draw your name. You're not going to click and drag, but you're going to click and then let go, and then click and then let go. So for example, for Phil, I started with the bottom of the P, so I clicked and dragged a little bit to create a curve, and then I clicked and dragged to curve, then I clicked and dragged to create more of a curve, and then I clicked down here, then I clicked up here. So you're going to have to think about how you're going to write your name because it all has to be connected. So sorry, if you have an I in your name like me, you're not going to be able to dot your I's. So sorry, third grade teacher, we're not going to be dotting our I's in this one. So notice how I created this, and when I click off of it, we've created this shape layer down here, and that's what we're creating, a shape layer. It's basically a line. Now, if I want to undo this, I can either delete it, or what I want to do is turn this off really quickly. So you can practice this with your own name, but I'm going to turn this off and show you what happens when I'm not clicking and dragging. So if you just click, and then click, then click, then click, then click, what happens is you create a line, but it's just a square without any sort of curves. It's just right angles. That might be fine for you if you want that style, but if you want curves, you have to kind of click and drag. So just play around with it. I'm going to delete this shape layer 2 by selecting it and pressing the delete key on my keyboard. And then I'm going to turn back on this name layer with that little eyeball button. Okay, so now we have our name, but it's not animated. So follow exactly what I'm going to do after you have written out your name. Click this drop-down button right here. Click Add, this little button next to Add. Click Trim Paths. Make sure that the timeline marker is at the very beginning at 0 seconds. Drop down this menu next to Trim Paths. Click the 100% next to End and type 0 and press Return on your keyboard. And then click this little stopwatch next to End. Then go to 4 seconds. So drag your timeline indicator to 4 seconds. Click the 0 next to End and type in 100. Then press Return on your keyboard or Enter. Now, if you press the space bar, it will play through this composition, and your name should animate on the screen. If you want to change the color of your name with this layer selected, so this shape layer 1, click the stroke color, so the color next to stroke, and then when this color picker pops up, you can change your color to really anything you want. Okay? And then click OK. So now you have your name animated within After Effects. Pretty cool, right? This is just the beginning of what you can do in After Effects. If you want to export this so that you can post it to social media right away, go to the export section of this course and watch that very first lecture, which is how you basically export an H.264 QuickTime version of any project, and then that will be great for posting online. And if you do, make sure you tag me at Phil Ebiner and at Video School Online. All right, I know you are probably confused. You're probably like, Phil, I don't know about this. You went a little bit too quickly, but don't worry. We're going to back up. We're going to learn about the workspace. We're going to learn about how you create projects and compositions. We're going to learn about layers and everything in the next sections of this course. But I hope that this was a fun lesson to show you the power of what you can easily do in After Effects. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson. So in this lesson, you and I are going to dive right into After Effects now, and we're going to take it slow, but the way that I've laid out this course is to really make it practical. So in this lesson, we're going to work our way around After Effects. I'm going to talk through the different panels so that you feel a bit more comfortable. I know how daunting it can be when you open up After Effects for the first time. There's so many buttons and titles and panels that are confusing. But I'm not going to make this course one of those courses where I just sit back and tell you, okay, this button does this button does that, this button does this button does that, because that's not a great way to learn. Throughout this course, you're going to be working on mini projects and then full real-world projects. And throughout that, you're going to be learning different tools, different effects. And so I really encourage you just to work through each of the lessons. They build upon each other. And so by the end of this course, you should feel comfortable working on real-world projects in After Effects. If you come across a button or a panel that you're confused about, feel free to let us know and to post a question in the Q&A tab of the course. Otherwise, we might answer that question later on, so just keep working through. When you open up After Effects for the first time, you'll probably get a pop-up, the Start module, that asks you to start a new project. You can see here that I have a number of projects that I've worked on in the past. Once you've been using After Effects for a while, you'll see all of these projects appear here. First, when we're starting, we're just going to click New Project. And that's going to open up After Effects like this. I'm using the Adobe 2017 version, Creative Cloud version of After Effects. If you go up to After Effects up here in the title menu and you click About After Effects, this is how you can see the version. I'm using version 14.2.1.34. It's the 2017.2 release. When After Effects updates, as they usually do once or twice a year, they add new features. I'll be updating this course. Really though, no matter what version you're using, especially if you're using a Creative Cloud version, your After Effects is going to look very similar. So just click in the middle to get out of that menu. The next thing you want to understand is the layout. One thing to note is your After Effects layout might look a little different than mine right now. And that's because there are different workspaces. If you go up to Window and then Workspace, you'll see that there's different workspaces because there's different panels that you might want to use to do different effects, but you might not necessarily need them open all the time if you're not working on that kind of thing. For example, if I click Motion Tracking, it will bring up this Motion Tracker panel on the right-hand side. But if I'm not doing motion tracking, I might not need that panel open. So to get on the same page, go to Window, Workspace, and then go to Default. This will be the default view that we'll be working through in this lecture and moving on. All right, let's get acquainted with After Effects. In the top left, you have your toolbar and your menus. A lot of the things that we do in After Effects with buttons within the actual program down here can be done through the menus up here. A lot of these options are grayed out right now, and that's because we can't do much without starting an actual project. Below that, we have the toolbar. You don't see all the tools right now until we start a composition and a project, but you'll be using a lot of these different tools in this class, most of them actually, and this is really what we use to create our own effects and animations. On the left-hand side is the project panel. This is your basic documents folder for your project. If you've used Adobe Premiere Pro in the past, it's very similar. This is where you can import media and graphics. You can organize things. You can add, everything from music to Illustrator files. Everything you can organize in your project. And this is also where you'll be creating different compositions, which in After Effects, a composition is basically an individual video that you're working on, an individual graphic, an individual sequence. So if you are accustomed to Adobe Premiere Pro, think of a sequence as the individual video you're working on. In After Effects, it's a composition. The way that these panels sometimes work is that you have the main tab, and then behind this, you have another tab. So here we have the Effects Controls tab. This is where you'll be adjusting a lot of effects once they're applied to your footage. So that's the project window or panel. In the middle, you have your composition. Once we start a new composition, which we'll be doing shortly, you'll see this is where you actually have your project. On the right-hand side, there's a number of panels. Just by clicking on them, you can open them or close them. So we have the effects and presets, preview, audio. These are all things that we'll be looking at in the future. And then down below, you have your timeline. This is how you start creating your actual projects. To take it to the next level and see more of the options, we're going to have to start a new composition, and we're going to do that coming up next.